Living organisms require energy for the performance of all life activities. In an ecosystem, organisms interact with each other as they are interdependent. Interdependence between the organisms may be useful or harmful for one or both interacting organisms. However, all types of interactions are important for the ecosystem. There are the following types of interactions that exist between organisms of an ecosystem: competition, predation, parasitism, symbiosis, and grazing. Competition is a type of interaction between organisms for a limited supply of resources such as food, water, and space. There are two types of competitions. Intraspecific competition is competition among members of the same species. For example, the trees that grow very close together compete for sunlight and nutrients. Interspecific competition is competition among individuals of different species. For example, woodpeckers and squirrels often compete for nesting rights in the same holes and spaces in trees. Predation is the interaction between prey and predator. The predator is an animal that captures, readily kills, and feeds on the individuals of another species. The prey is an animal taken by the predator as food. This relationship is called the predator-prey relationship. Predation is useful and necessary because it keeps a balance in the ecosystem, regulates the population density of its prey, reduces the stress of overgrazing, and protects vegetation. For example, a cat eats a mouse, a fox eats a rabbit, and a hawk eats small birds. Parasitism. A parasite is an organism which lives on like an ectoparasite or in like an endoparasite, the body of another organism for food and shelter. The organism on or in which the parasite lives is called the host. The relation between the parasite and its host is called parasitism. In this relationship, the parasite is always benefited while the host is usually harmed. For example, Plasmodium and humans. Plasmodium is the cause of malaria, which is transmitted from one human to another via the female Anopheles mosquito. Symbiosis. Symbiosis literally means living together. It is defined as a close connection between two different types of organisms in which they live together, and one or both are benefited from each other. There are two types of symbiotic relationships, namely mutualism and commensalism. Mutualism. In this type of symbiotic relationship, both partners are benefited, and none of them is harmed. For example, in the digestive tracts of termites, a protozoan finds food and shelter while helping the host by producing enzymes for the host to digest wood, which is the food of termites. Another example is legume plants and bacteria. Commensalism. In commensalism, only one partner is benefited, and the other is neither benefited nor harmed. For example, many epiphytes, which are plants that grow on other plants for anchorage, such as orchids, are found growing on the branches of other trees. These epiphytes use the tree only for attachment. They prepare their own food by photosynthesis. Here, the orchids are benefited, but the tree is neither benefited nor harmed. Grazing. Many animals like sheep, goats, cows, buffalo, and horses feed on grasses. This mode of feeding is called grazing, and these animals are called grazers. Moderate grazing is a very important factor in determining the ecosystem. However, overgrazing may lead to the transformation of grassland into a desert. Relationship of competition, predation, and parasitism with population growth. In areas where there are sufficient organisms but resources are not sufficient, there will be competition among organisms to obtain these resources. This competition reduces population size and slows population growth, while in predation the ecosystem remains stable. Moreover, the prey-predator relationship keeps biological fitness. Parasitism is also beneficial in many ways. For example, it boosts fresh life and removes the old one.